Hello everybody, I hope everybody's having a great day today. What we are doing today is something that since I did the last video about it, I have fallen in love with. And that is a face full of one single palette, including the eyes. I did it with my Dior palette a few times and I absolutely love that palette. And this is going to be the first time I use my Nudegasm face palette. So let's get to having some fun. Okay, now the first thing I need to do without blinding you guys is get my bronzer, blush, and highlight on. So and contour. This one has contour. So I'm going to do, okay, there's my refer. Okay, I'm going to use my refer for the contour and I'm going to get into this one. I've come to like doing contour because I do have, or at least I did, have a fairly prominent dip in my cheeks. And maybe it's something from a throwback from the 80s. I'm not sure. I've been trying to remember, but I can't. But I like doing this. And I love doing it with my Heimish water tint. I don't know what I'm gonna do when that runs out, unless I can get my hands on the Undone Beauty water tint. Stupid Canada. Not allowing everything in unless it's the company's not wanting to allow things in. But just a hint of a contour before I put the bronzer on, and just right here. The other thing when I watch all the other influencers or makeup artists or whomever do their makeup, they put bronzer, blush, and highlight all up here. That's all I ever see them do, is up here. We've got a whole cheek. Why am I doing it wrong? But I like to use almost all, like the jawbone, the jaw is right here, right? So you've got your bottom jaw. I wish I had the better terms, medical terms. Maybe I'll dig it out when I edit and put it on the screen. I don't know. But yeah, you've got the connection of the jaw here. So it goes down, and then you've got, at least I have, 1.5 inches to work with. But I always see them work on 1 centimeter of the cheek, forgetting that we've got this entire section to work with. And I don't get it. I don't understand. Maybe because I'm a Gen Xer, and I do know that in the 80s it was a little more prominent to do it that way. So it looks a little darker on camera, but I've barely got anything on. Now I'm going to use the bronzer, which looks dark, and it can be very dark. I've found out a couple of times. So I'm just going to start with a little bit, just a hint of a start. And then just on top of the contour, only half. I'm trying to leave the bottom of the contour there and not completely covered. So I don't know if you noticed, but the brush is not touching right there. It's just the top half, because I want the contour to be prominent. I want that shadow to be there so that it thins out my face, because since I've gained weight, a little bit's gone up into my face. So maybe that's when I started to want to put more contours, when I noticed that my face was getting a little pudgier. Maybe subconsciously. So let's get some contouring done a little around the forehead. See, I love this because you need to build it up. Me personally, I don't like things that are overly pigmented, because it's too easy for me to make a mistake. I'm not good enough to sit here for half an hour to try and fix that mistake. It's too time consuming. Even over the years of me doing or trying to do the YouTubes, I have gotten a little more patient, because I know at the beginning it was driving me crazy that I couldn't get a proper blend within seconds. But granted, I didn't have a clue what I was doing, not a clue, even though I'd been wearing makeup for like ever. So 5,000 YouTube videos later, not me, I've been watching. Okay, maybe 50,000 videos watched later. I hope I've been learning a little bit. I don't do a lot of contour on my nose because my nose is thin already, and that's the main reason why people tend to contour their nose, to make it look thinner. But I like my nose. I remember in school a lot of the girls would have a problem with their nose, and I'd just sit there and listen. I didn't really have a clue. Okay, so now I'm going to take what I consider to be the blush, even though it's a highlighter. Makeup can be anything you want it to be, unless it specifically says do not use for. But if it doesn't say that, go for it. I'm painting my palette with proper paint supplies, especially the Charlotte Tilbury paint supplies. Now the Nudegasm, I don't even know the name of the new palette she came out with for 23. It doesn't have a bronzer. I don't like that. I really don't. It's like, I don't want that palette because it's only blush and highlight. I need a palette to be able to do the whole face for me. Just, you know, just can do the whole face for me. I don't think I have another palette that I would love to use for a full face. I'll have to check when I go to do my mascara. I put on, that's my primer. Yeah, it's the Clinique Chubby Stick in Latte. I'm keeping it out just in case I need some more. But I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful peach / orange blush. Or I go get one, you've got one right there. If you have this palette, or if you have a palette with a highlighter that's this color. Just because you have a highlighter in a palette that is too dark for your face to use as a highlighter does not mean you cannot use it for something else. I'm learning, and I'm hoping to impart my ideals to you guys. I'm thinking maybe I need, because on camera it looks a little harsh, but in reality it doesn't. So is it my eyes or is it the camera? I don't know. What I do know is that I'm going to use the champagne one or my highlight. Okay. Okay, now this is where I want to talk about the difference in placement. As I said, I've seen a lot of people, they work here. Now, I've got contour, I've got bronzer, I've got blush, I've got highlight. And they've blended together perfectly. As opposed to just bronzer, blush, and highlight. Now we've got actual delineation. As I said, is it a throwback from the 80s, or is this how it's supposed to be? Now what I'm going to do now is actually swatch, because I want to use this for my eyes. So what I think I'm going to do is put this in my crease, maybe a little bit on the outside or liner type stuff, this on my eyelid, 2/3 of it, and this on the last third and inner corner. I hope that works. I hope that works. Okay, so a little bit closer. Let's get close and personal. And all on top of Latte. Whoa. I wasn't seeing much of a difference until I looked at the viewfinder. Just a smidge, just to see if it makes a difference. Oh yeah. Either my skincare is finally working miracles on my crinkles, or Innisfree is also working miracles on my crinkles. Okay, put that there, and my number 21, my staple that I need 5 more of, and we are going with this one. Now I don't know if I need to wet it. Well, let's put the first coat on and see what happens. Oh great. I'm trying to do something with my left hand when I can barely do it with my right. Gonna have to be careful when I leave the desk because the floor's gonna be wet. It doesn't work as well as the Dior does for the eyes, but it works. It works. Fairy dust. The day I don't put fairy dust on is the day you guys call the ambulance for me. And all you have to tell them is, I think she's having a nervous breakdown, she didn't put fairy dust on. This is my Charlotte Tilbury in I don't know what color. And no, I'm not going to attempt a baby wing because yeah, no. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is spray my face, put this on, and go see if I have another palette. And I shall return. I'm back with some unfortunate news. I do not have another highlighting palette. And I believe that the highlighting palettes work the best. Because I was thinking I really want the Hourglass palette, but they're all blushes. They're all mauvey, pinkish, reddish blushes. It wouldn't work as much. No. You need a highlighting palette. It just so happened that this palette has bronzers in it and no technical blushes, just a contour, a bronzer, and 2 blushes. So this palette was a lucky find. And then the Dior, they do have a couple of other colors, but this is the one I have. So I'm gonna have to go to the side a little bit and see if I can come up with some pictures of what might work well in the face palette edition to do a full face, including eyes. Great, and I've got homework to do on top of editing. So this also was a fortuitous bonus for me to be able to use my Wayne Goss. I've also been watching, drives my husband crazy when I do stuff like that. I've also been watching a lot of very talented makeup artists, and that's what they do. They do it on the side, not on the top. They do it on the side. So I'm trying to do it that way as well, and it does a better job. It really does. Now, what color is my, this one is in medium nude, and this one is Chrysanthemum. This was part of my birthday present. And his lip glosses are made in Canada. Now, if you have noticed that I had something black in my teeth, I sincerely apologize. I did brush my teeth, but then I had some cookies. And yes, I did put too much gloss on. I have a habit of doing that. But look how beautiful it is. This is Bridget loving nude. Nude, not pink or mauve. Nude. This is brown. Ah, good grief. I really like that. I can't even remember which website I got it from. I'm gonna have to try to remember so I can link it for you guys. I have to start doing that. I have to start linking stuff for you guys. Now, I know this is no longer available, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people have it. And this is essentially a demonstration to go into what you have. If you have another highlighting palette other than Dior, because there are a lot of highlighting palettes with highlighters that are way too dark, but they'd be perfect for the eyes. Absolutely perfect for the eyes. Use it. People, I've seen declutters where people show a highlighting palette of 6 highlighters. 3 of them are used and 3 are not. Use the other 3 on your eyes. Can you imagine the shine that would give? So these are examples. Yes, this one is still available. This one is not, but it's an example. And not only that, this is my 2-B-1. Or is it 2-A-2? I'll have to figure that one out, because I haven't done one in a while. Oh, here's another one. This one is too light, unfortunately. There's no bronzer shade, because if there was a bronzer shade I could use it, because I could use this as a blush. this as a transition and this all over the eye, but there's no bronzer shade. And I've been neglecting this. Hopefully she comes out with a nice one that I can't afford. Oh, we have to have fun with what we have. I have to finish my inventory, but before that I have to actually edit because I don't know where I am. I know I could look at my notes, but what's the fun in that? Thank you everybody once again for coming to visit with me. Please leave me a comment, like my video, subscribe to my channel. A bientôt.